So for this exercise, you want to start with quite a wide stance with your feet pointed outwards so that you are hitting those side glutes as well as the under booty. You want to hold the dumbbell at your chest and basically perform a controlled squat and return to standing. But when you do return to standing, make sure not to thrust your hips forwards, just merely squeeze the glutes so that you're keeping that tension in the glutes throughout. So for this exercise, you're going to be performing a full squat. Then instead of returning to standing, you pulse up halfway, then return back to the squat. You hold the dumbbell at your chest, at the top of the dumbbell. The mind to muscle connection within this exercise is extremely important. I really focus on my under booty throughout and I can really feel it burn. This gets your quads too. For this exercise, you need to stay nice and low throughout, constantly keeping the tension within the legs. Once again, really focusing on that mind to muscle connection, particularly when you hit that squat. For this exercise, push up through your feet into an explosive jump and then down into the squat. This is going to be great for getting your heart rate up as well as burning those legs and the glutes. This exercise is absolutely great for working the quad of the elevated leg. It also gets the side booty of the elevated leg, so make sure you perform this on both sides because otherwise you're going to be dealing with some glute imbalances. This can be a tricky one to master, so keep practicing it and maybe start with no weight to begin with. The key thing to remember here is to keep your front leg at a nice right angle and not to bring your knee over your toes too much. So the key things to remember here are to squeeze your glutes at the height of your glute bridge, to let your eye line follow the movement, and also not to arch your back. So this exercise has pretty similar key things to remember as the last one, just remembering to really squeeze your glutes at the height of the glute bridge, let your eye line follow the movement and keeping a neutral spine. So yeah, you've just got your feet placed together like a frog and that's why it's called that. So this one's a little bit more tricky. You're going to need a little bit of balance, so maybe to start with, start on the floor and then work your way up onto an elevated surface. So for this one, you just step up onto an elevated surface into a kickback, then down into a lunge, pulse, and then push back up and repeat. And make sure you do it on both legs. The great thing about this exercise is that it's a bit of a double whammy because you work your quad as you step up into the kickback, but then you also work your upper glute of the other leg when performing the kickback. So for this exercise, you're hitting your upper glutes as you were with the kickback, but it's a little bit more concentrated because you're performing them constantly. So I often use this exercise for glute activation as well as within my glute workouts. The reason I have my arms up in the air is because I feel it more in my lower glutes when I have my arms up or I do something overhead like hold a plate or something like that. So as you come down into the squat, remember to pulse your legs out because then you're going to be hitting that side booty as well. So the good old Romanian deadlift is going to be mainly hitting the hamstring and the glutes. I always have some variation of a deadlift within my lower body workouts because I think it's super important.